Hi and welcome to the Lightleaders, a podcast for lightworkers and conscious entrepreneurs who are passionate about raising the consciousness of our planet and take action to make it happen. I'm your host, Alexis Lember, and I believe that we are currently in the middle of a global awakening of humanity, that right now is the time for heart-centered conscious people to step into our power so we can replace the old paradigm and bring the conscious new earth into manifestation. So here, I'll interview a variety of people who lead this movement of creating this new earth, whether they do it through a meditation course, a conscious podcast, or an ethical cryptocurrency. I call them light leaders. If you resonate with our mission, please help us spread the message by sharing this podcast. We're having more and more content getting censored, so we need your help. Make sure to stay in touch also by registering to our newsletter on thelightleaders.org. If you hear little nuggets you love and you'd like to share, screenshot this episode and share on your Instagram stories, make sure to tag us at the Lightleaders podcast and we will repost. I have a question for you. How can we build a new earth if we keep using the old systems? We can't, and this is why I'm such a fan of decentralized cryptocurrencies. I believe the old paradigm of centralized power and control is crumbling before our very eyes. The debt and money printing of governments is out of control. 35% of all US dollars in circulation today have been printed in the past 10 months. We are on the verge of a collapse of the old banking system and its currencies. I believe cryptocurrencies to be a safer store of value, an incredible investment opportunity, and a more fair system to build our societies upon. I am passionate about helping other conscious people learn why cryptocurrency is the way and how they can join the movement, learn more about how it works, and create their own secured and balanced portfolio. With my friend Fabrice that I've had in this podcast, we have created a crypto workshop for beginners. You will find more information on thelightleaders.org/crypto. Hi, and welcome to this new episode of The Light Leaders. Today, I'm with Nikolaus Heger, who is a tech wizard at the Seeds cryptocurrency, and we're going to talk a bit about it. But first, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful to be on here, and I'm grateful that you are doing this show for the light leaders in the world and for the people who resonate with this kind of topics and to connect us all. Actually, I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you, Nikolaus. And I'm grateful for you to be here and explain us a little bit what you're working on with that amazing project called Seeds, and we can go beyond that too. I'm especially interested because we live at a time where we can feel there's a lot of control, there's a lot of centralization of powers, and I do believe that the applications built on the blockchain and new ways to organize societies are more needed than ever. It looks like they're being built, yes, on the blockchain and with cryptocurrencies. And Seeds looks like a project that tackles those decentralized governance, decentralized societies, more fair systems, and also with regenerative systems. So do you want to talk a little bit about what Seeds is?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Seeds is a cryptocurrency, and we call it a conscious currency because it's created out of a need that, when we build a new civilization, we need all new systems. And one of the systems is going to be a financial system. So Seeds is not just a token like many other cryptocurrencies are, but it's a whole financial system and governance system. And the intention behind Seeds is to regenerate the planet and to create a thriving civilization where humanity doesn't just regenerate or survive, but we actually thrive and we can build the planet that we know is possible with the abundance on Earth. Yeah.
Is that what passionates you, is to create a thriving humanity?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we are going from one stage of consciousness to another stage of consciousness on this planet. And, there's different terms for that. The Great Awakening is one of the terms. But what we can see is that humanity is shifting into a higher state of awareness And in this higher state of awareness, a lot of the old systems turn out to be inadequate because they are very corrupt. They're driven by, motives that have no place in that new consciousness, by greed, by corruption, by power, by, control, all these kind of things. So to come back to seeds, the money system is at the core of these control systems on the planet. And so we need to change it. And Bitcoin was the first attempt to do that. And it was very beautiful. And when I realized its potential, I was just hooked on cryptocurrencies. And I knew I had to go there.
So we'll go more into details as to what Seeds is, also what problems it solves versus the old establishment, but also versus other cryptocurrencies and other projects. I'd love just to have a bit of background on you and understand a little bit like how you got into cryptocurrencies, like what was the angle?
So I have a heavy tech background. I studied computer science in Austria. I moved to America. I worked at Apple for a while. That was my first job there. Then I worked at startups in Silicon Valley and, did all the things there that were cool at the time. It's a pretty long time ago right now. And then I kind of moved to Thailand and became a digital nomad for over 10 years. And I was just there. I was one of the first digital nomads. I was doing my job, but I got kind of frustrated over time because I really wasn't doing anything significant, even though I made a good income. And then what happened is I got really interested in consciousness and, it's hard to remember now how I got into it, but I read The Power of Now. It blew my mind. I was like, unbelievable that nobody told me about this stuff beforehand. So
it was also for me a big shift reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I'm sure for many people who listen.
I was literally reading a page and I was just shocked, and I was just looking at the page like, what is going on here?
So Eckhart, if you're listening to that podcast, thank you so much from both of us.
Yeah, thank you, Eckhart. Eckhart's the best. So, and after that, in 2015, I lost my job and I decided to go fully into, researching or engaging with consciousness. Prior to that, I had a few, awakening experiences at Burning Man. But then I decided to get very serious and did an online course about empowerment and enlightenment. And then I basically spent the next 3 years doing all kinds of different modalities, meditations, not working, just only concentrating of making myself the best I could be because I knew that in order to improve the planet and also to do the best for my kids, I needed to be my best self. And I needed to figure it out myself. And even though reading The Power of Now, afterwards, you think like, oh, I'm enlightened now because you understood everything and you agree with everything, but you don't really know it. And then that becomes apparent after a while. I'm thinking, I know there's all these things, but my life doesn't look like that. So why is this discrepancy there? And I have all these secondhand bits and bytes from this book that I can tell people, but I actually don't live them. I don't embody them. So that's why I went into this full exploration. And eventually it ended with going into a very intense meditation program that was it was called something like Self-Realization in 99 Days or something. So we spent 99 days of intense practices, meditations, etc. And on day 40 of that, I had like a great awakening experience. And I suddenly got the call like, hey, this is awesome. You need to go back to work now. And I jumped right into crypto and I got a job in crypto the next day. And then there were a few crypto projects on the way and then eventually ended up at Seeds.
What excited you so much about Seeds?
Well, Seeds was the best of the cryptos. I jumped into crypto, right? And I was working on a ICO kind of project. It wasn't very cool. But, it seemed good to me, but it was just about making money really. And Seeds, I met Reiki at the time as well, who is the visionary behind Seeds. And, we hit it off right away, and he told me all this stuff about it. I was just fascinated how many layers and levels were in there. So I kind of really liked the project already. But then at some point, my time got freed up. They needed someone to take over the smart contracts, and then we finally met. So it was a bit of a long process. It was like 1 year of being very close to all the Seeds people, but not actually working at Seeds.
Since when you're working with Seeds?
End of 2019.
Okay.
So it's 1.5 years now.
And so what's so exciting about Seeds? So they're trying to redesign the financial system. And what does it do that other projects you didn't find in other projects?
Well, there's
first, can we start with maybe what it does better than traditional systems, and then also other projects?
Yeah. So in some way, it embodies the original idea of Bitcoin, that nobody is in charge, and it's decentralized. It belongs to everyone who is a part of it. There's no group that controls it. And it's completely transparent also. I mean, it's actually more transparent than Bitcoin. So you can't really hide anything on this chain. And yeah, those are the properties basically of the chain. So that means that, people, like when I own Seeds, I'm always in control of my Seeds. There's no bank that says you can't have them. There's no authority that can seize them, because I have the keys, I have the coins, that's the rule. And also it can't be shut down because these servers are distributed all over the world. And, you can't just go and, in America, a politician can just call up Amazon and shut down the servers for someone very easily. But with blockchain, that can't happen because the servers are distributed all over the world. And also new servers can pop up anytime, and any citizen or any user or anybody actually can just start up their own node and start, contributing to the technical part of the blockchain. So that's decentralized.
Yeah.
No central point of failure, no central point of control.
Nice. And that's a good reminder of why we're interested a lot into those decentralized cryptocurrencies. I have other episodes that go more on this. So I'll go more now on why, what you like with Seeds better than other crypto projects like Bitcoin, like maybe Ethereum.
Yeah, Seeds is going a little bit further in figuring out the problems with Bitcoin, for example, because Bitcoin tends to propagate the old system in that, it concentrates money into a few people's hands, basically. It also has excessive rewards for early adopters. So people who went in early just got huge amounts. We also wanted to avoid that. So with Seeds, all the founders and members of Seeds, we all get paid in Seeds. In part of our payments are in Seeds, but we don't get any extra bonus Seeds or anything like that. So we get a fair salary in Seeds, and if Seeds goes up, that's pretty good for us. But none of us are going to be billionaires from this. We don't own the majority. I think collectively we will own less than 2% of our Seeds. And then the other thing is the governance section. So there's a thing called the Harvest Protocol in Seeds, and that is an inflationary protocol that looks at how much money, how high is the demand for money, and then it decides, okay, the demand is higher than the supply, so we're going to create more coins. That creates some sort of smart inflation on Seeds, and this smart inflation is distributed into pools, and people can then vote on what happens with these pools. So you have this system, pools of money kind of fill up, like there's a global pool, there's a bunch of regional pools in your local region. And the citizens of Seeds get to make proposals towards that pool, and other citizens can get to vote on these proposals and see who gets the money. So for example, if I want to build something for the community, like I want to build a community garden, I can make a proposal and the local citizens can say, hey, yeah, cool, we're all for that. Use that money from the pool to build a community garden. And then I get awarded the money, and then, there's a few checks and balances. But in the end, it means that we can collectively build infrastructure and things that require the coordination of lots of people in a decentralized way.
And what prevents one person of group of people to have the majority or to have the a big influence on that organization?
Yeah, so the number of votes that a user or a citizen of Seeds has is dependent on their contribution score. And their contribution score depends on how many transactions they made. There's a few factors like how helpful have you been to improve the system? And there's some other factors that are like a reputation score, like have other people vouched for you? Are you a real person? Which in crypto is a big problem. So our system wipes out robots because people have to vouch for each other. There's a web of trust. And what was the question again? So what prevents one from having way more than another, right? And in this system, we grade people on a score from 1 to 99. So if you had 1 million times more seeds planted than someone else, you would still at the most be 99 times more, have 99 times more vote power. So it kind of equalizes, it reduces differences over time. We actually have very nice graphs how it will wipe out income equality over time. Over a couple of years, it's pretty effective. The same happens to, so this harvest protocol fills up the pools, right? But some of the harvest is also given back to citizens, and it's the same measure. So depending on citizens' contribution score, they get a part of the harvest back. It's like a cash back. It's free cash. Citizens of Seeds basically gain from inflation. So in the current system, by comparison, there is a huge amount of inflation, most of which is hidden when the traditional money systems create money.
I think 35% of the current dollars in circulations were printed in the past 10 months.
Yes, exactly. So it's basically a joke. It's basically like Dogecoin.
Why do you think we haven't, just on a little parenthesis, but why do you think we haven't seen that inflation that much yet? I mean, the prices at my restaurant, they're not 40% higher.
I think there might be some theories say that they're just building up to a big crash. It's like very large people with a lot of money seem to be diversifying into property and things that survive a big money crash. So I feel like it can only end up in a crash. That's what all the financial people say.
Would cryptos benefit from that? Probably.
I'm 50-50 on that. In theory, yes. In practice, existing large holders of cash will probably also have large amounts of crypto. So I think the old systems are all into crypto already through the investment vehicles that they have. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. It'll be exciting.
Okay, but so yeah, you have that system where the whales, the people who hold that much coin, they can't have like 1 million voting power. It's still reduced. So okay.
Yeah, we already have a problem with this, but it's actually a good problem where we put a proposal up for to improve our system for a bug bounty, just to ask the citizens of Seeds for some seeds so we can use this as the developers. And nobody was really interested in it. And we couldn't vote it up because we don't have that much vote power, even though we are developing the system. So it's kind of almost out of our hands. It is out of our hands already. And that's a good thing. It should be out of our hands. It should be decentralized. So all the governance is already decentralized.
And I have a question about, you talked about reputation and people voting for you. In a way, I like it because that's already how a lot of systems work efficiently, like Airbnb and Ubers. And on the other hand, there's always a dystopian view of that social credit score.
Yep.
So as you were sharing, I was wondering if it's decentralized, do I still like it? Do I like it now? Or do I still dislike it? What's your feeling on rating each other?
Yeah, it's always about the intention behind that system, right? The social credit score is more like a behavior control system where, the money system controls people's behavior. Whereas in Seeds, it's more a trust system that we use to, create stronger bonds and to prevent hacks and things like that on the system. So reputation score is also limited. So you can ask your friends to vouch for you, but after about 3 or 4 friends that vouch for you, that value that you get out of it is capped. So if you ask thousands of friends to vouch for you, it doesn't really give you any benefit. It's mostly just to, figure out who is real and who is not real. And the incentives that, for example, to stake seeds, we call this planting. So you can stake seeds, which means they're locked up for a while, and then you can always get them back, but only slowly. And this is good for a monetary system
for stability.
Yeah, for stability. And so that system is also going to increase your score, but it's designed to help the system become more stable. So I feel like it's kind of a necessary, maybe even cause, because we want to spread seeds, wide and far. And the thing is also, these rules are subject to change. So all rules in the system can be changed by the citizen by a referendum. And we have set up a system where you will see the seeds constitution online, and you'll be able to go in and propose changes, just with a text editor. You can just click on something and say, hey, this paragraph should say this, or this number should say this. The inflation should be 3%, or whatever it is. And then you click OK, and then you automatically can create a proposal that will go up for a vote the next time. And then citizens can decide on it. And if it passes, it's automatically applied. There's nobody behind the scenes that has the power to change those things or says no to things.
Are you familiar with the concept of liquid democracy?
I've heard the term, but not.
Because as you shared that, I was thinking that's beautiful. And in a way, maybe I don't know what the inflation rate should be for next year. And maybe I don't want to vote on that. But that's the principle of liquid democracy. Maybe I want to give my vote to you, Nikolaus, because I know that you know better than me, and I trust you. And at any time I can change and can go to someone else. So it's a way, a liquid way, a fluid way to have representatives rather than voting directly.
Yeah, we have that.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know it was called liquid democracy, but we have it, we call it vote delegation.
Okay.
So I can pick a delegate, and it's exactly like you said. I can remove my delegation at any time when I don't feel like that guy is doing what I want him to do. I can remove it from him, or give it someone else. And later on, we'll even have, specific things like if it comes to the Constitution, there's a certain person I want to be my representative, or maybe there's 2 people that kind of balance each other out, and I can give it to both of them. So we can think of all kinds of amazing ways to make this work in the future. But currently, it's a simple delegation system. Yeah.
Okay. So you talked at the beginning about a financial system, but it goes way beyond, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, we don't really learn in school about financial systems. Financial systems have an immense amount of power, actually, which I only learned is through working at Seeds. So it is very political as well. And yes, there's a lot of governance elements also in Seeds, which always attracted me to Seeds, because when that was explained to me the first time, I was like, wait, so there's pools of money that we can use for public projects. That means we don't need governments anymore, because at that point, we can just organize ourselves. So humanity can just organize itself in a decentralized way, and that really excited me. I was like, all right, let's do it.
Do you feel it's coming soon?
Yeah, soon. I don't know about the time frame. I feel like all of us, each one of us, is deciding that time frame. It's definitely coming, but it's up to us if it's coming in 50 years or it's coming in 2 years.
So what can we do? Get more involved with Seeds, I guess.
Yeah, Seeds is of course. So there's a constitution. You can check that out. There's a website. I would love for all the light workers and people, who are interested in consciousness and who get the concept to be invested in Seeds, because currently, what we're doing is we are, distributing seeds, but we don't really have an airdrop. So we have only a sales contract, and the price is quite low. So the way our sales contract works is kind of counterintuitive. It's very difficult to get in. You're limited. You can't really buy as much as you want. And we set it up in that way so that we don't have big investors just buying big chunks of coins. We don't want that.
It definitely looks like you're doing the other way around than most cryptocurrencies, especially the dog coins and and other meme coins, which is you're quite discreet, slow and steady. And you don't want to have a huge amount of new investors too quickly.
Well, the thing with investors is it comes with, a price. When you take large amounts of investment, then you become responsible. If we got millions of dollars, we hired hundreds of people, their livelihood depended on it, then we are suddenly beholden to that investor, and we suddenly have to do what they say. So we don't want to do that. We think we can actually succeed making our little small sale happening more and more. And, just selling the seeds at a steady pace. We'll probably go on exchanges also, but we've so far, which might happen pretty soon, but we have so far not been interested in the crypto game, like in the ICO game or trying to grab as much cash as we can. Because what for? I mean, the cash, I never want to cash out of seeds. I want to be able to buy a coffee with seeds. It's not my goal to cash out into what? That's the question. It's not my goal to get a US dollar. I don't think it's a good value. It's a good currency. Right now, practically everything works with that. All the other currencies are tied to it as well. But I don't want to cash out into that. I want to stay in seeds and start using seeds. Yeah.
Do you think we're close to start using cryptocurrencies for more everyday transactions?
It's really tricky. We really need seeds and things like seeds. So as an aside, everything in seeds is open source. Anyone can just go and copy the whole thing and create their own seeds, call it weeds or whatever, and go with that, because I don't think there's ever going to be one solution for the whole planet. So we are hoping to create a swap site for all regenerative currencies to, get everybody on board that is in the same kind of state of mind.
So we talked about the importance of decentralization for the money, for the power. A big aspect of seeds is also regenerative, right, towards the planet. Do you want to speak about that? Especially in a context where Elon Musk just tweeted about Bitcoin not being eco-friendly and not wanting to accept payments in Bitcoin anymore for Tesla.
Yeah, so the Seeds cryptocurrency is built on a distributed proof of stake, which uses almost no electricity.
Is it your own chain, by the way? Or is it built on another?
No, it's called EOS.io technology, and the chain is called Telos. It's a fork of EOS. EOS is a bigger currency. Telos is a smaller currency. It's basically like a version 3 blockchain. It's very powerful, and it's not using electricity. Basically, it doesn't have to solve these math problems and stuff. So there's proof of work, right? Proof of work uses all that electricity, and proof of stake works in a different way to secure the network. Yeah. So we are doing that, but that's just, we just picked the best technology we could run on top of, and Telos network was that. It's actually crazy undervalued, I think, but I don't know why the crypto guys don't like it. Anyway, so
on the regenerative side, what makes seeds regenerative for our planet?
Yeah, so there's a lot of incentives built into it that we believe will make it more regenerative. So, for example, organizations, like an organization would be like a company or a shop that sells something. They can get, they can rise through the ranks of regenerativeness. So we have different levels of, from sustainable to regenerative to thriving. These organizations have different levels, and at different levels that they reach, they gain more cashbacks, for example, from the system. So they gain more benefits from the system. So the more regenerative you are, the more benefits you get.
A bit like a new carbon tax.
Yeah, but the other way around, it's a bonus if you are very green, regenerative, etc. And currently our valuation system is only the citizens. So if people, let's say Amazon went on our system, they won't, but in case they did, they would have huge volumes. So they would have a pretty high contribution score, right? But if their regenerative values are very low and people just think they're not doing any good for the planet, then they will vote them down. And in the end, they will not really get any benefits from the system, because the regenerative aspect is a multiplier on everything. Okay. So that multiplier will be 0 for big polluters and things like that. But it will be higher for the small mom and pop shop, you know, for all these kind of things.
And I love it. And I love how you make it flexible. That's how it works. You open to it taking its own course. You open the code too, because maybe some people, let's say 2 years, 3 years from now, you become like highly popular. Probably some people want to do something similar, but with a little, what they would think is an improvement or a twist. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, it's a philosophy. We want to give everything away that we're doing. And we feel like that will lead to collaboration. And we are feeling that collaboration will outcompete competition. So in the new world I'm seeing, there will be collaboration and it will be hundreds of times more efficient than competition ever was.
You'll be the best at collaborations.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
What's the timeline a bit for Seeds now?
So currently we're in a phase of movement building. We're onboarding lots and lots of organizations, and we have a lot of contacts into regenerative finance space, which is, I don't know if you know about this, but it's pretty big. There's a lot of big funds that are set up explicitly to make the world a better place. And people who just have these resources and they feel like, well, what else am I going to do with my life? I'm just going to regenerate the planet now. So we have a lot of contacts into that, but we also, we're open to any community. So we're trying to onboard whole communities of people, and we are creating circular economies where a farmer can be paid in seeds by a restaurant. The restaurant can accept seeds from their customers, and the farmer can use seeds to buy whatever they need to buy, like seeds, for example, to buy actual seeds with seeds. So we're that's our goal right now, is to create all these circular economies to get it off the ground. And we will also enter the crypto space and exchanges. This is from a monetary perspective to create liquidity for the coin. So because we realized that, well, people will need to get out at some point. Your landlord might not accept seeds. So there has to be a way to easily transition out of seeds as well. But we want it to be always more beneficial to stay inside of seeds. So currently we are just onboarding businesses who are happy to accept seeds. And currently their only reason to accept seeds, other than liking the vision, is that we are still on an exponential growth curve in terms of the price of seeds. So Seeds has a 2-stage approach to our pricing. Currently, we're selling seeds at a certain price. It goes up 3.3% every week, and every 1 million seeds that we sell out. And so it leads to a very slow but still exponential curve that will go up to like $1 or so. And once we hit that point, we trigger a go live event. And at that point, the harvest protocol kicks in and creates new seeds based on demand. And at that point, we expect the price to stabilize, at least within the system, right? And at that point, the price will be, we don't know, but anywhere between 80 cents and $1.20 would probably be happy. If it goes up like crazy, then fine. But we can't really control exchanges. But so that's the idea. And that's the reason for businesses to start accepting seeds now, because, you sell something for $20, maybe that's 2,000 seeds, but in the future, those 2,000 seeds might be worth $2,000. So you're getting into the system, and you will benefit from this currently exponential growth rate. But we don't want to be like Bitcoin, where it's always going to go up. we want to be stable in the end. We want to be stable within the system.
Because you want to use it on an everyday
Yes,
basis.
we want it to be a usable currency. So with a currency that always goes up, you kind of always want to hold on to it and keep it. But we actually want to use seeds to facilitate trade and to organize humanity, actually. So in order for that to happen, it needs to be used. So it should be stable, so you're happy to use it, or even lose a little bit of value. But I think it won't. I think it might have a very, very small inflation towards the end, like maybe 1 or 2%. Yeah.
And that's still flexible. It might be changed based on the governance.
Yeah, all of these things are covered in the Constitution and Seeds Game Guide, which are open to discussion right now and will be ratified by the citizens in maybe 1 month's time or so. And once they're ratified, they're kind of official. And at that point, all changes have to go through a referendum process where they're being voted on.
Yeah, that's super exciting. One question about so you talk to business who would accept seeds. How about, are you looking into building a physical community that would be a bit of a pilot for how that community would live with seeds? And do you have places in Bali, Central America?
I would absolutely love to do that. It's my dream. I know that we're all going to live in these communities at some point. And also Seeds was even kind of founded to support communities in the beginning. So Reiki was thinking, he wanted to create communities actually, but then he realized that we need our own money system to create communities because it's not going to work another way. So yes, the short answer is absolutely. It's totally in line with what we want to do. And it would also make it easier to create, network effects between the communities, connect those communities as well. I think it will help with all of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's very exciting. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So much. I mean, this is unrelated to seeds, if you don't mind.
I don't.
A 1 second interlude, but I see that as we move into higher stages of consciousness, we are going to have these bubbles of higher consciousness everywhere emerging that come in the form of communities or bigger communities.
Like we already kind of have here in Bali, right?
Yes. In Bali, it's already starting, and they are going to be interconnected with all the other bubbles, while the rest of the world is maybe experiencing a lot of other things right now. And I feel like in creating these bubbles is going to happen no matter what. And I feel like Seeds is perfectly in the center of that. It will be very useful for all kinds of communities. And, everyone we talk to wants to create their own coin. We're trying to kind of convince them to just use Seeds instead because it creates a better networking effect. It's a bit like having a phone. If you're the only one having a phone, it's not very useful.
Also, social media, that's the problem. That's what we see with social networks, right? It's very hard for people to leave Facebook or Instagram because then you have all these possibilities, but none of them really emerge.
Yeah. It's the same issue, network effect. But we'll have new social networks as well.
Is it part of Seeds or on a different
We have so much on our hands with Seeds. We can't really build social networks, but we have so...
But do you have, because I definitely believe, I'm waiting for a social network that comes, that is decentralized, that is actually having some kind of incentive with a crypto that doesn't go against me and just for me to spend time on my screen, but actually rewards me for better activities. I think it's close, but I haven't found it yet.
Yeah, we were talking to the founder of Vero recently. Vero is a social network that actually has all these intentions. It doesn't have a crypto and it's not decentralized, but it is the intention of Vero to be a useful social network that doesn't sell your data and that is actually for people instead of using and abusing people. But I think maybe Vero will go decentralized. Maybe who knows what's going to happen. But I feel what's been very interesting through the journey of Seeds is that through the intention that we have to create this new civilization with a new currency that's fair for all, that's transparent for all, we meet all these other businesses that have the same intention. There's a lot of people out there that actually start businesses to make the world a better place, literally, and to not just to cash out or sell it like the old paradigm, not to just IPO and get out and make all this money. They really want to change the world. And thanks to mostly our intention, actually, we meet all of them and over time, and it's amazing. It's just mind blowing. Like there's threefold, they build a new internet, and there's all kinds of people like that. So that was really very beautiful and unexpected for me.
That's so exciting when I listen to what you're building. It gives a lot to look forward to. And I hope for maybe some of our listeners in the current times, they might be a bit depressed with what's going on in the world. And it's good to see a project like that.
Yeah.
What does the new Earth look like for you?
The vision and the pictures, the best pictures that I've seen, it's called solar punk. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Steampunk is this kind of style, that's old style, that is like very, I don't know, kind of weird. But solar punk is like the bright future, where we have really high technology, but at the same time we use it for our benefit, to heal ourselves, to heal the planet, to live in harmony with nature, and to create this society of peace and love, basically. Like the earth is already abundant. It has enough for everyone. We all know this. And I feel like even just very, very simple things like changing the financial system, which would also end all the wars. Suddenly, if we have peace on earth, all this energy that's currently going into the destruction will go into building a better civilization and building greater things and, connecting more with each other, I guess, as well. So all of a sudden, I think the acceleration rate of the civilization as it goes to ascension will be like 100-fold. Like it's outside of my imagination, and I'm very excited about that. I'm especially excited that it's outside of what I can even imagine.
Yeah. Super exciting. Well, thank you so much, Nikolaus. I think it's a great introduction to seeds and also to what's some of the most exciting projects happening right now using cryptocurrencies, decentralization, and a more fair system for everyone. I do believe that financial systems also, I know they are at the core of the whole system of manipulation and control and greed. So that's also why in the past few months I've been really passionate in general about cryptocurrencies. So thank you for sharing. And how can the listener get into the Seeds project?
Currently, you can look at joinseeds.com. And I don't know if I can leave some information on your site as well. I will leave, our Telegram channels. They're probably the best, and our Discord server. And a lot of very, very exciting stuff is currently happening in Seeds, because we have split up the development and the core of Seeds into two different things. There's two different basically domains. And in the core of Seeds, a lot of very interesting things are happening where people decide on the constitution, they discover like what their purpose is, what the purpose of Seeds is. And it's amazing. It's really, really exciting right now. Yeah, whereas the development team, we are more like, in the trenches, we're building technology, we are writing code, it's trying to make it work and things like that. So they are more like about, furthering the vision, actually. So yeah, both of those things I can leave on your website or whatever. Yeah.
So joinseeds.com?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they can find the Telegram and Discord there too.
Yeah, all the links are on there as well. Yeah.
And where do you see Seeds 2 years from now?
I'm hoping that I can't really imagine where Seeds is going to be 2 years from now.
Wow. That's how fast it's going?
That's my goal. That it's currently, like I said, I'm really down in the trenches building things right now. And I know that it's guided by a higher vision that's just coming. It's something that is necessary for the planet, and it's just coming through us. And I know there's a bunch of other currencies that use a bit of different approach, but they're also coming from the same source. So I'm excited about all of them, actually.
And I remember I went to one of your conferences and people were saying, well, if we find a similar project that we find works better, we'll probably just join that project.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Seeds is in a win-win situation. If we succeed, we win. If we fail because somebody else is better, we also win, because we will live in an abundant world with an amazing financial system. So that's also a big win. It's great.
Yeah. Do you also have a personal following if people want to follow you?
No, not really right now. So I would say I can give you my Telegram.
Okay.
So actually, all the viewers, I'd be very happy if you ask me personally for an invite. I will send you an invite to Seeds, because Seeds is an invite-only project. So everyone who comes on needs to be invited by someone else, and you will be gifted some seeds and all of that.
Yeah, I'm part of it. I bought a few seeds
you have,
too,
yeah,
and
you have
I can invite also.
Yes,
Go first to Nikolaus, but if you run out, I'm here too.
Yeah, no, you can invite too, no problem.
Well, thank you so much, Nikolaus, for sharing this with us, and also for the energy you put into this project that is super inspiring and super exciting. So thank you for your dedication. Do you have a last word for the listener?
Yeah, I would encourage everyone to, do their work as usual, do their meditations as usual, but focus more on the positives, on building the new systems, on building new connections, on connecting with others, and not focus so much on all the negativity that we see as well. I mean, we don't want to ignore it, but I feel like it's more beneficial, and it will accelerate our timeline more if we focus on what we really want, instead of, all this craziness that's coming up right now, which we don't want. So we have to see that and transform it. But in our day-to-day action, we want to spend more than 75% of our time building the new.
Yeah, definitely resonates.
That'd be my message.
And thank you for doing that.
Thank you very much.
That's reflected in the podcast. Sometimes we have people more building, sometimes people more denouncing, but try to keep that balance of 80-20 or something.
Oh, yeah, right. I don't know why that number just came to me. It seems like a good balance, 75-25. Because you have to look at this stuff, know.
Yeah, it's good to ignore it. Good to have that 10-20% for awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Sasha Stone last time, so he did a good job with that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nikolaus.
Thank you for doing this, and thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for taking some of your precious time to listen to this podcast. If you stayed until the end, I assume it was insightful. So if you like this podcast, please share with friends. Remember that if you tag us in your Instagram story at the Lightleaders podcast, we will repost. Tell us what you've learned. You can also leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Now, if you want to stay posted about new podcast releases, especially as we get censored more and more on big tech platforms, make sure to join our newsletter and our Telegram. You'll find the links on thelightleaders.org, and feel free to contact me directly too, whether it's for feedback or potential collaborations. Thank you again, and let's co-create the conscious new earth together. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe to my channel.